Hey, look, YouTube. Wow. I didn't expect to be doing this until a few minutes ago, but I thought, what a great thing to do for the channel to make it grow and go and look in new directions. And I have been recommended already to do this style of thing by some friends of mine, but I'm going to be doing a live watch along of the Euros opener. I don't know how it's going to go. I've not done much planning about it. As I said, the thought just came into my mind, but I think it's going to be a good game. If you see me looking slightly above where the camera is, because I'm looking at my TV, which will be behind you during this game, so that's why I'm sort of got different focuses, I was supposed to say. Yeah, Germany v Scotland. Interesting game, certainly. I think Germany, heavy favourites coming into this, obviously being the hosts. Scotland, not the greatest outfit. That's certainly what I would say. They're not the worst, but I think if you saw my predictions earlier, you'd see that I'd put Scotland firm bottom. While they're about to sing the national anthems, I'm going to quickly rattle through the starting lineups of both teams. So Germany are doing a 4-2-3-1 with Manuel Neuer, safe pair of hands, couldn't go wrong in goal, very, very experienced. Kimmich as the right back, yeah, solid option, always rated Kimmich quite highly, versatile as well. I personally think his best position is defensive midfielder, but Germany have clearly chosen to switch it up a bit, his role. The right-sided centre-back is Rudiger, long-time experienced player, obviously very good at Chelsea back in the day, and will be looking to make his mark on this Euro, certainly. Tar as the other centre-back, not too sure who he is, really, so he's got to prove it to me, but I'm sure the being included in the squad is good enough. And then Michael Start as being the left back seems a bold choice, but as I said, it's against Scotland, so not the hardest, I would imagine, especially on that wing. They've got holding midfielders of Andrijk and Tony Kroos. Tony Kroos, obviously very experienced pro at this point, been through the mill many a times, definitely worth having in your team. The attacking midfield three of Musiala out on the right midfielder, absolute baller. Looking forward to seeing him play with his dynamic electricity and whip of a cross. Ilkay Gundogan with that cam role, which he fits in so well for. And then Wirtz on the left wing, which could definitely provide a bit of physicality needed as well. Kai Havertz being the striker, slight concern. I don't think Kai Havertz's natural position is striker, although he has proven me wrong this season and can do quite a good job. So it'll be interesting to see. No Muller, which is an interesting choice. He is on the bench. And then for Scotland, they've got in goal Angus Gunn of Norwich City fame. Relatively safe pair of hands, but I'm not too sure with some of the whipping balls that Germany are going to put in, how good it's going to necessarily be. Kieran Tierney as left back, they've got a strong left side. That's what they really need to utilise, Scotland here. If they can apply pressure on the left, then they'll do well. By the way, it's a 3-4-2-1, which is a very interesting and defensive-led formation, but it means that they only have one centre-back of Hendry, who I'm not sure, that's applying a lot of pressure on the lad. See if he can cope with that. And then Porteous, no idea who that is as the right back, sorry. But yeah, and then the midfield four of Andy Robertson on the left, of that defensive midfield trio. Obviously, left back at Liverpool, very good cross on him. I imagine set piece taker as well, especially for corners. I'm looking out for him. He should definitely stand up. I think he's the captain as well. Conor McGregor, is it Callum McGregor or Conor McGregor? I can't remember. I think I've messed up the name there. But McGregor in the midfield as a number 8 deep line playmaker, been around the Scotland squad for quite a while. Scott McTominay is the number 4, partnering himself in that defensive midfield role. The wonder kid, as he's been described as for so many years at Manchester United. So it'll be interesting to see that. Ralston out on the right of midfield. Bit iffy that, in my opinion. John McGinn, it was a number 7 role, slightly attacking and out to the left a bit. Super player, got the amazing footwork. Definitely think he can provide some good crosses today and maybe even a goal. We'll see. Ryan Christie, I think it is in number 11. I would have put him as a second striker personally, but they've clearly gone more defensive against the German lineup. And then Shea Adams up top. Obviously, he's at Southampton at one point, and he's done some great things. I think he was at Bournemouth at another point, but I could be wrong about that. He knows how to get the ball in the net with his big head, and that's the important thing at the end of the day. For my score prediction, I'm going to go with 2-1 to Germany. I think it'll be a bit of a cagey affair, but I think Germany have got the quality and that they will score first. Please put in the live feed, which I'll be looking at periodically throughout, what your score predictions are going to be right now. And later on at the half-time interval, what you made of the game so far, who maybe you think is going to win the Euros, who's going to win this group. Do you think Scotland's going to go far? Do you reckon they're going to flop? Do you reckon Germany, the hosts, are going to win it? Or do you reckon they're going to bottle it in the group stage? I'd love to hear your opinions on that. And we are about to kick off in this game played in Bayern Munich Stadium. There we are. They've just kicked off there, and it's been kicking off with Germany, and they've done a lovely floating ball there. They're instantly applying the pressure onto Scotland's back line, and they hook it away. That seems quite scrambled there. I'm not entirely convinced by the defence there. They need to communicate a bit better. Germany just content to keep at the back and apply the pressure. Quick one-pass football at the moment, as German outfits have been known to employ before to great success. Obviously, in 2014, did very, very good at that World Cup over in Brazil. So there's a few of them players still left in this squad. I'm looking at the Kroos, Muller on the bench, Manuel Neuer. So obviously they've got so many. That's surely offside. Save anyway. Save by Angus Gunn. I thought that was offside there, but good early start to this game. It's an incredible midfield drive, and it's a marginal one. It might have been just offside there, but that was a good, solid effort from the number 17, Wirtz. As I said, he's somebody who I've looking out for in this game. I think he can do quite a good job. But the head of Gunn was what saved the bacon of Scotland in this encounter. So, but it was offside anyway. Scotland looking a bit chaotic in these early stages of the game, and a strong employment to the left by Germany seems to be where they're applying the pressure at the moment. Got the toes nicked off the Wirtz there, which was, he was looking a bit posing to danger. Let's see if Nagelsmann can get a good result for the start. I mean, Germany have been in a bit of flux recently, obviously, with results. They haven't always been the bestest of results, and there's going to be a lot of pressure coming into this tournament, being the host, that they do go far. Long throw by the looks of it. But couldn't get to the desired target by Scotland there. That wasn't the ideal throw. It's a bit left midfield, seems to be a bit where they're all focusing. Stephen Clark, obviously leading Scotland to the first international tournament for quite a bit now in the group stage. I think we all want to see Scotland doing a bit better. I know they they have been known to be doing all right in the Euros historically. However, I do feel like there is going to be less expectations in Scotland. McGinn's committed a foul there against Mittelstadt. So I don't know if it was. Yeah, it was a bit of a cynical foul there, elbow to the head. I wonder if that's how this game's going to go, a bit needly of sorts. But it's a lovely battle between Tierney and Musiala at the moment. That is a good-natured battle by the looks of it. I would like to see who comes out on the top of that duel today, because both incredible players at the peaks of their careers, you can argue, coming into them. So both, I reckon, have got a strong effort. Angus Gunn to take what looks like a goal kick from this position. I think Angus Gunn may be somebody who needs to be looked out for. I don't think he's going to be the strongest pair of hands, the best goalkeeper this tournament. He can't be any better than Marshall was with that horrific off the line straying he did, and that 40 yards. I think it was by Patrick Schick in the last Euros. So I assume that's why he's not even in the squad anymore, let alone on the bench, because do they have a backup goalkeeper? Surely they've got a backup goalkeeper. I can't see it for now, but I'm guessing they do. Scotland applying a bit of pressure here. Oh, lovely flying Tierney on the wing. Rudiger did an all right job there in defence. I think he got the last touch there, playing out of play. I think it was Robertson, actually, not Tierney, who was doing the decent running, but I can't quite tell. But it's Robertson for the throw-in, level with the penalty area here. This is a good opportunity to be able to get it in. Number 7 for Scotland, McGinn, is free, but that's a long throw if he can make that. I mean, surveying his options, I would imagine. He's gone in for the middle, couldn't get past the defensive header of Rudiger there. And they're quick out of play. There's somebody down injured who's just gone off the screen for Germany there. So hopefully he's all right. You don't want to see an early injury just at the start of the Euros. Bit of tossing and battling. That was a strong defense dueling there by McGinn. And Scotland are getting into their tempo now. They seem a bit less on the cosh and switching to play. I think they're obviously trying more comfortable with trying to get it through the left-hand side, which is something which is well worth paying attention to. So from the looks of it, it seems that it might have been Kai Havertz got the falling of the player on top of him, but he's up now anyway, whoever he was, and is fit and moving. Germany have got it in their back line. They seem to be operating a black 3, so not as much as my original lineup said so. So they seem to be playing it safe at the moment, trying to find the weaknesses of the Scottish team. I don't think it's going to be the worst performance by Scotland by the looks of it. They seem to be comfortable. Skipping out wide is the amazing Andy Robertson. Should be all right in possession here. Christie is looking all over the place, bit ratting around. That's what I sort of want to see from that position. He's been a bit out of the game at the moment. So if he can start applying that pressure a bit more, Germany will be much weaker. But it's old German gegenpressing style seems to be very effective, as it's being used so well for so many years for all German outfits, since I can remember anyway. Too many gaps are being left by Scotland here. They're all over the shop. But they've managed to find their way out of play. A bit too much out of play, out to a throw-in. And they're appealing left, right and centre. I think that was for a foul throw. They just need to get their heads a bit more in the game right now, Scotland. They seem to be a bit distant, a bit all over the place. Yeah, so could Scotland pull a result out of the bag? I'm not too sure. As I said, my score prediction is 2-1. I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to change it throughout. But I do think that at the moment, Germany have looked slightly better value for money, but Scotland have also had their moments. It was a cross there. I think it was by Middlestat, but couldn't quite reach the intended target. And they've gone back to pressing it around in the midfield line, as they seem to have been doing quite a lot here. It seems to be the Kroos seems to be playing a bit more deep lying in position wise, maybe as a covering centre back if need be. That could be because he's got a bit more legs to him now than obviously the old Tony Kroos, who was absolutely legendary in so many times, but certainly would have put him more than that attacking midfielder. But his calmness under pressure was just demonstrated there as he quickly passed the ball out of his feet under pressure. So he's clearly got the mindset skill, just not as much to be able to get on them lightning wings as such. They're doing a lot of running, Scotland. They're getting a bit tired out by the fast pace of the German football, and that could pose a bit of a risk because looking at Scotland's bench, it is not the greatest bench. They have got some players which are good. Mainly Grant Hentley is the one I'm looking at, and Stuart Armstrong, but overall, not a great bench. It seems to be very much focused in what I think is the left-hand side, which is a very interesting dynamic. Oh, goal! So, yeah, Wirtz have just scored for Germany. Very, very good goal. Down to the far left-hand side for the striker, that is. And Angus Gunn got a palm to it, but he couldn't quite get enough physicality to be able to push it wide. Bit of sloppy defence there, realistically. Gunn couldn't do too much to do with it, and the Scotland fans are looking quite rightfully very dejected about that, having gone 1-0 down within only 10 minutes of the start to this Euros 2024 tournament. It was a great switch of play, caught across the back, and straight from the middle position. He had anywhere to pick. He wasn't really picked up from marking Wirtz, and he just chose his corner. Didn't quite get far enough in the corner because Gunn got a hand to it, but it wasn't a strong enough hand in the end. He passed it onto the post and it went off the post and in. The manager, Nagelsmann, is absolutely delighted with that goal. And quite rightfully so. He wants a good start to the tournament. And this, he couldn't have asked for a better start, really. But Scotland have kept with their intensity on the stronger wing they have. Definitely, I would argue that. I know Scotland did a bit of experimenting before, seeing if they could play on one hand Andy Robertson and on the other hand Tierney on both of the wings in the left and right back position, but that didn't quite work out. So they've now settled for both of them being on left. It's a bit like how England's got an issue with right backs at the moment. Scotland's got a bit of an issue with left backs, as in the headache of having too many of them. Poor getting that out of the box there, but it's gone out for a throw. It looked like a cynical foul, but not enough to be given. But it's certainly. I'm wondering how much needle Scotland are going to pry to this game. Porteus is going long again. He's got quite a long throw, this player, and I'm quite liking it. I enjoy a good long throw myself. I was watching the National League North playoffs of Alfreton versus Boston, and both teams had excellent long throws, and it was an absolute delight to watch, even though it finished 0-0 until extra time. But yeah, keeping it safe, Germany here, that they definitely know how to do this one-touch passing pretty much. it's effective, and it's going to be difficult to play against whoever's playing against them, especially with the likes of Scotland, who doesn't quite have the ability, shall we say, even some of these other big hitters that they come up against. But I mean, I think a bit of physicality could rile these Germans quite a bit. I'm looking at someone like Hungary in their group who could scalp something from this purely by just being a bit physical with the players. I've got a nice beer here. It's called Franskaner Weiss beer. Not sponsored, of course, but only drink if you're over 18 as well. But it's a really lovely white beer. German, of course. Yeah, it's something that I like to do. Drink the local beer of one of the countries playing. I think it's something I aim to do this Euros. Not necessarily every single match. That may be too much and spend too much money doing it. But for a few of them, I imagine. Partly because I have no idea where I would even get a Georgian or Albanian beer from. Bit of physicality there from Andrijk. I don't know how you pronounce that, but he's just stood firm, but a bit too aggressive with it, as adjudged by the referee. I think Scotland have been a bit rattled, but they're getting into play now. They're passing it around the back amongst the back three, as I mentioned earlier. Too quick. As running in came that Mittelstadt guy. Mittelstadt. It's a hard name to pronounce, this one, and I apologize if I get any of the pronunciations wrong. But he came running in to Royston and applied a bit of pressure, and he sort of had to be forced to give out for a throw in. But how is everyone doing today? I would love to know that. Do you reckon that this game's going to see more goals? I definitely do. Yeah, there's so much on the stake for both of these teams, but it's a lovely, exciting first game to see at the moment. Out along the wings as Scotland look to play it forward, but don't get further than the midfield rank. They know what they're doing, Germany. They're quite good at zonal marking, which I think is much better than man marking, and certainly have been proven to me to be quite a force for good for them at the moment. 15 minutes of the game has gone through so far, looking an absolute great value for money for the people who have gone to go and watch the game in Germany. I think I read a stat. I just need to quickly confirm this, chat. Yeah, so apparently about 4% of Scotland's population is here right now. Yeah, so I think if that's true, that's certainly something that's an interesting stat, shall we say. I saw a video earlier of some Scottish fans on the I think it was a German metro or a bus or something, or train, absolutely giving the rallying cry to their team. A throw in for Scotland here in the halfway line, and they've played it back a bit safe there, and it's gone all the way back to the goalkeeper. I mean, they're going to keep on coming, whatever they do. Scotland don't seem to be coping well with this pressure at all, and have already got given dispossession as a clumsy clearance. It's looking bad for Scotland. I'm not going to lie. If you're already 1-0 down, the heads start thinking stuff. But they don't look too much dejected yet, which is good to see. But I do hope that the longer this continues, the more tired they're going to get. It's the first game as well, so I wouldn't want to see tired legs. But nobody, I don't think, wants to play a German side playing this fluid style of football um, on their opening day, because that is going to drain Scotland's energy. Um, and if England do play Germany, I'm just looking ahead and I'm just seeing some two teams which can play quite similar style of plays when they need to. But Germany is making it look very effective at the moment. I mean, it's effective, I think, is the most nice way of saying it. It doesn't present a load of chances, but it have the possession stats surely going to be very heavily in Scotland's favours at the moment. Yes, so 74% of ball possession for Germany, where 26% in Scotland. Only 47 completed passes for Scotland compared to the 170 of Germany right now. It's just not looking great in terms of possession. We're just getting dominated, and that's another goal, way too easy. All these people in the box doing absolutely nothing, straight into the roof of the net by Musiala. Take a bow. There was bodies scrambling everywhere for Scotland there, and it was all just a bit too easy. Nobody putting a tackle in. Nobody stopping it far up ahead. I just think, in terms of that, the German fans are going to celebrate that goal no matter what. But I think questions have got to be asked of Scotland there about how to stop that ball. Number 8, which is McGregor, didn't get enough contact, nowhere near offside, and easy pass back to number 11 there. Way too easy pass back. It was a deflection, actually, I think, from Hendry, which went straight to the top of a roof of a net. I think it's about mindset now. Don't concede too many and calm down. And I think the manager's been telling his players that. I think it can come to the head. 2-0 down, and it's just hit 20 minutes. It's not a great start. But we're all having a bit of hoo-ha and arguments. McGregor and Robertson both pointing the finger at each other there. They just need a bit of leadership in this position. I wouldn't bank on it. So I think, that was it was an optimistic ball, but it was a nice hit and hope. All the Scotland fans rightfully are looking quite dejected at the moment and disappointed by their team's effort, and I would be too. This has been, quite frankly, miserable for the Scots who have gone out there. It's a long way to Munich, and to see your team put that little effort in at the moment is not looking great. But I do want to see arguably a bit more passion from the Scots, knowing that instead of hitting and hoping, Germany again almost broke the line there, and Gunn had to come and dig them out of a hole. I think it was Havertz who was breaking through there. Very much you can tell that they're wanting to exploit the weaker sides, and Scotland are wanting to use their stronger sides. So Scotland are trying to play out to the left as much as possible, whereas Germany will typically be trying to play out to the right, or the Scotland's right, so their left as well, which is also just happens to be where their strongest players happen to live or occupy on the pitch. So both of the wingers at the moment in Germany have scored. I think that's telling that both goals have come from the wide men. They play an exceptionally wide position, so when they go to the middle, it tends to be in the defensive half, and then we'll switch it out to the wings. Not a lot going through that middle bit of a park, as can be seen by the formation, which was 4-2-3-1. They're clearly not trying to aspire to go too much through the middle of a park, clearly trying to employ for the wings. And Scotland just look they're all a bit too compressed at the moment. And that is a foul being given against, I think it was against Radic. Ralston, sorry, conceded by Mittelstadt. Who has been a bit of a thorn in the side of. There's been a little bit of a tussle between them two already. But neither have quite got the better of the other yet. I think Scotland are trying to play Germany's game, and it's not quite working. I think they need to stamp their own style of play onto the game. There's some nice football there in the back by Scotland. I don't mind that. That's good, healthy playing out from the back. Because when it goes well, it can go very well. Oh, a bit of acrobatics by Rudiger to clear his lines there. It was well needed, and there has now been a foul against Gundogan. I think it looked, yeah, that is a very, very mistimed tackle by McGregor there. He knew what he was doing. I don't think there was much attempt to the ball. I don't know if there'll be a card. It seems a bit early on in the game for that, but that was certainly a warning in my book. That was not a great tackle. He went sliding in, and he had his eyes on the ball, but he didn't seem to be aiming for it. But that, on the other hand, looked like it would be a good tackle by Ralston, but it just didn't have enough contact to get to the nearest player, so he managed to pick up. Oh, is that a penalty? There is a penalty, I believe. Now that is, Musiala's gone down in the penalty area. Robertson is protesting the decision, and Gundogan have come to try and persuade the ref that it's right. What? So that is clumsy, to say the least, by Ryan Christie there. He's just tumbled into Musiala. For me, I think the foul started outside the box, but the player was half in, half out. So, is it a penalty or not? That is a dubious question. Because if it's going to VAR, it's going to be checking for a penalty, and they can't recommend whether it's a free kick or not. That's going to be, I think it's a penalty. I think in terms of when you look at it, that is a really, really clumsy ball. It's shocking, to be honest, that a professional can get away with that. While we're waiting for the VAR check and another drink. Obviously, if you can hear the live feed, you'll be able to tell that it was. I think they're probably mic'd up. I don't know, maybe because I've not got the live feed on. They've got a VAR check, and it is a penalty, but it's out. Is it? I don't. No, it's a free kick. It's no penalty. The foul was outside the penalty area. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't know if VAR could say that, because it looked like the foul started just outside the box. It was incredibly clumsy, and they're lucky to have got away with that. Ryan Christie is very, very close to the penalty area, very central, maybe too central and too close, because the strong wall here. They've got tall players, Scotland. They've got tall players. Havertz, I was going to say, or Musiala must take this, but there seems to be a whole gaggle of players debating about who to take it. Musiala doesn't look bothered. It's 14 meters away from the goal. That's very close there, very close indeed. Kroos is looking at it, as is Kimmich. They've got a lot of good set piece takers, Germany. That's got to be remembered. All of the Scotland players are in that wall, pretty much, or within line with that wall. That is going to be a difficult goal to score. Whoever's lining up for that is going to have an incredible dip. Oh, we've got the draft exclusion by McGinn here. And a wall of about 7 or 8 here. This is truly biblical size of wall. A bit unnecessary. With all the players standing in front and wall scattered, and it was saved safely by Gunn down to his left, and a safe pair of hands there. Musiala, I think. Who was it who took it in the end? So it was Kroos, a little 1-2 with Kroos and Havertz. didn't quite pay off. Because it was all a bit disorganised. The German players were blocking the wall by Scotland, which it's an interesting tactic I've not seen before, and it's certainly one which I would say is a good tactic. Although I think it's a bit dodgy myself. Standing in front of a wall doesn't seem in the sport of the game in the end of the game. Blocked out. No, is it blocked out for a throw? No. It looked like it might have been, but it's not. Or has it? Has he pulled it back for a throw now? A bit slow, this referee. That's what I can say. Looks like throw in. Yep, throw into Germany, not Germany, Scotland at the moment. They are very much hugging that far left-hand side for Scotland, that is. Oh, and there's a burst of pace. But couldn't quite get through the multitude of players, Musiala there. It could have been a foul. I think McGregor. Yeah, McGregor is being a bit. No, it wasn't McGregor. Sorry, it was a pull by Robertson potentially. Or no. Yeah, I don't think there was much in that at all, to be honest. Yeah, I think that was a relatively tame excuse and nothing given. But you can see this back four, but it does seem like Kroos is in the back four and not Kimmich. So something makes me say that the lineups that I got from a Google search was wrong. It seems to be a dynamic back three mainly, with the wing backs going ahead and Kroos stopping in. So Mittelstadt and Kroos might have swapped as well. Hard to tell. They play very fluid, Germany, which is a good thing. It's kept Scotland on their toes. But they seem not sure what to do now, Scotland rather. They seem a bit perplexed, like how to play against a team like of this caliber and style of play. Surely they would have gone through how to deal with this. That is a foul, and by looks of it, a yellow card. That is a yellow card for Andrik. And it was a swooping in. He did get the ball, but he also absolutely cleared McTominay as a result there. And he's got the first yellow card of the game actually goes to Germany, interestingly, to Andrik. That's an interesting call. I don't know if it necessarily was. If it was, I think the other one would have had to be a yellow. So, but at the end of the day, the cards have been brandished. Now he's stamped a bit of authority. I don't know. Oh, good header. If there was someone else to get onto that, that would have been a very, very good header by, I think it was Christie actually who got that header. I'm wondering where Shea Adams was in that situation, why he wasn't on the other side of Christie. Shea Adams has been a bit quiet this game. He's been applying pressure a lot, but he's not really done that much when he's had the ball, if he's had the ball at all, really. They're obviously trying to press through that left-hand side. And it looks like the team, they've changed formation, maybe Scotland have? I'm not sure. They certainly are very, very defensive at the moment. And it's a struggle to get out. Is that a handball? I think there's certainly claims for a handball there, but I don't think it's been given in the end. Angus Gunn's got a free. Actually, it might have been given. I think it was in the Scottish penalty area, though. I just saw the penalty area. I was busy looking at the lineups to see if they changed the formation from originally. There's almost an absolute packed out crowd there. So well done to both Scotland and Germany to go and see that. This could, I mean, this could be a halftime score. I think Germany will be content with that. I think Scotland need to rethink, go back to the drawing board during half time. Got about 15 minutes left. Rushing in there, but Gunn got safe hands again. I mean, I don't think Gunn's been the worst today. I mean, arguably one of the goals was his fault. The other seemed to be a wicked deflection. But he's been on top of it most of the time, I think. So maybe need to cut him a bit slack. It's an interesting back three, which seems to have constantly got possession here for the German outfit. They can't really get out of that centre circle at the moment. There's a lot of pressure being applied by Adams. But he does actually look... He's not in the right position. This is the thing. Oh, and run onto the ball, but I think it was a foul. That could have been good, but Kroos was fouled there. I think Christie, which have given them time to reset and go through the wings. It's become a bit predictable what Germany are going to do here. It's whether Scotland can see that for themselves, in my opinion, because if they can tell that it's constantly being played in the middle, then out to the wings, and they're going to burst through with a burst of pace from the wings, then Scotland can play to that. So there's been 3 attempts, all of which on target from Germany, and absolutely zilch from Scotland. But it's not been the most fascinating half. I'll give you that. I know the score's 2-0, but it's not been the most constant shots, if you will. Wow, it looks like they're going to come through again. Good, solid defensive header there, and they have a chance to break now. If they whip this far down, number 2 for Scotland, Ralston, that is, seem to have a good keeping close control there, and they seem to be bursting through into the opposition's box. If they can get to that, that would be a great ball, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Yeah, it was a great bit of defending by Mittelstadt, which I think at the moment has been arguably one of the best players on the pitch, in my opinion. He's done the defensive work. He's done a bit of the attacking work as well. I mean, the midfield, or defensive three rather, for Germany have done a decent job as well. Switching play. Musiala has been a good look for it. For Scotland, I'm struggling to see at the moment. Gunn has done an all right job, but he's not come under that much pressure, to be honest. McGregor's been a bit aggressive, which understandable. They've laid off a bit, Germany here, so Scotland have a chance to sort of progress it if they were a bit more quicker. Need a bit more pace on the ball, Scotland. You seem a bit static. Maybe that's just because my screen's paused. I don't know. Oh, no, they've whipped it downfield. Man, it's way too hit and hope. That is the most frustrating thing in football. A hit and a hope ball. I don't think you'd necessarily get that from Germany. I think Germany can see their tactics. You can see it quite clearly. You can see that Scotland's got tactics, but if they don't work, they result to hit and hope, which I think is something which I'm not best pleased with. I think the pressure applied by Scotland is just not phasing Germany at all. This is the thing. Okay, good tackle. Now what? You go back to the goalkeeper. It's frustrating watching. It really is. I think a lot of people have turned off by now by just seeing how frustrating it is. This tar lad just run right into the back of Shea Adams there. Proper foul that. Knee in the back as well. Would definitely say a free kick there. It's quite far out, so it's not really going to make much of a difference. I'm surprised if there's even a wall full stop. It looks like it's gonna be McTominay over this. Surveying his options, I would say, who to pick out there. Pretty much standing him in net is McGinn. I don't know what much use that's gonna be. That was well offside if he even got there, so I'm not sure what McGinn was doing there at all. Wasn't the greatest set piece. And there was a burst of pace by what looks like Verts into the box, but it didn't come to anything. Played out now to the left for Scotland. A flick on has taken it over to Christie, who may have just been fouled by Rudiger, but he's got quickly back to his feet. Is that a hand? I don't think that's a handball there. He's claiming handball by Kimmich, but I think it was in a natural position. I don't think there was much he could have done about it. I do like that Scotland's back of the kit. It's quite a nice sort of. I like the dark blue, Royal Navy blue sort of thing in the yellow font. It does make it easier to see. Germany's as well. As long as we don't have many stripes, I'm not a fan of the Newcastle and Sunderland strips, which both happen to have their numbers printed on strips, which makes it impossible to read. It all seems to be coming through this back line here. Looks like this is what Germany's going to do throughout the tournament. I don't know if it doesn't seem to be particularly suited just to Scotland. It could probably be applied to most people in their group, to be honest. Gone into the penalty area. Now, they're ratting around. They certainly are. Scotland need to take a bit of control of possession here. Cheap shot straight into the hands of Gunn there by Rudiger. Probably shouldn't have done it. It was a bit of an opportunistic moment. We're approaching the 40th minute here, so not long away from half time. What I would say at the moment is Scotland have had a few moments, but not much. Germany being on top, definitely in terms of possession. Scotland yet again cheaply give away possession from their own penalty area. It's not great because it means that they're instantly put back under the cosh again. Just tackle him. It's not that difficult. You see a player doing that, you've got to put a tackle in. Just standing there. Like, Germany aren't particularly moving, whereas Scotland having to move all over the place to deal with the fast-paced passes by Germany. It'll be interesting to see sort of this second half, I think, would definitely be an interesting one. Interesting. It's fizzled out a bit at the moment. Development along the left-hand side. A bit of a selfish roaming at the moment by, I think that was Verts there. It wasn't great. Oh, there's a scramble in the box. It's been cleared. It's been shot at, but it was the good deflection by, I think it was McGregor, and there's a player down. There's two players down injured. One of them's McGinn, and the other one is Gundogan. It was a header palmed away by Gunn, cleared off, blocked. So it was a header in by Gundogan. It was then blocked by the rebound for Gundogan to try to get by Porteous, who inadvertently, I think, ended up connecting a bit too many times with Gundogan there. There was a potential penalty check as a result of it. I don't think it was malicious. I think he was trying to block the ball there. And by the player of Porteous, who I'm not familiar with his game, Ryan Porteous, who is from Watford. Gundogan is receiving medical treatment, as is somebody else. on the Scottish side. It's an interesting. It's taken a long time for this VAR check. This may add a bit to extra time. Probably, we're probably looking at 5 minutes extra time at the moment. He's gone over to the monitor, so it was clearly a bit more than the last one. He's gone over to the monitor to have a look at himself. He's gone straight for the ball there. For me, it's not a penalty. The player just happened to be in the way. Oh, he pointed to the spot and has gone for a penalty. That is controversial. That is controversial. I do not think that was a penalty myself. Someone please enlighten me as well who this assistant manager for Scotland is, who looks like Sam Allardyce. It isn't Sam Allardyce, but I need to know who it is. Is it going to be a yellow? I just think this is incredibly harsh at the moment. I mean, if he's consulted VAR and he said it, I think that's an incredible. Oh, he stamped. Okay, that changes it. That angle there changes it because he's gone. He scissored it, and it's a red card for Portugal. That, yeah, I can see now from that angle why that was given. That was cynical play. He's going to be suspended for the next match now. That was poor defensive work. He didn't need to do that. Realistically, he could have just cleared it. Because there's a penalty being taken by Havertz, no less. Not a surprise there. He is registered as the centre forward here. Bit of pressure on Germany here. It is, after all, them who are the home team. But I'm sure Havertz has coped with the pressure before, and I reckon he'll do so again. Deep breath in. Lots of abated waiting Scottish fans as it's shooting into the Scottish end, where all the fans are making as much noise as possible or standing with a bated breath, waiting for the move. It's not a position which Scotland particularly wanted to get a red card, and not that you ever want a red card, but yeah, he did a stutter up and then slotted it neatly into the bottom corner. So that was it, cold as you like by Havertz there. He was very much on top of what he was meant to be doing there. So there's 3 minutes added time has been signified, which I'm a bit surprised about that. I would have thought it was about 4 or 5. He's done a slow run up, stuttered, gone straight down the middle as Gunn dives down to his left-hand side. It's unfortunate. Nothing Gunn could have done really about that. The stuttered penalty does always catch the goalkeepers off a bit. It is something that it annoys me now that goalkeepers can't mess around, whereas the strikers can. That does seem to me a little unfair. But no, penalty awarded 3-0. Important thing for Scotland here is not to look too dejected, remembering that you can still get into it, maybe score a goal, maybe score a couple. You got to go into it thinking at least you can get a comeback of some sort. It's going to be a difficult job for the management of Scotland here to rile up their players, especially with a man's disadvantage exceptionally bad. We'll be going over the talking points and individual players' performances during the halftime break. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to look at their sofa scores. I'm going to talk about who's played well, who has been, quite frankly, dreadful, and key moments as well in the game. And maybe a little look ahead about what games are to come. I think that's blown for a half-time whistle there. No, it's brought back for a free kick. I think there could have been advantage being played there, to be honest. There seemed to be a bit of space that Scotland were marauding into. I would probably switch play here. It's a difficult one. It's quite far over to Scotland's left-hand side. They whipped it in. Couldn't get past the defence. It's gone to number 2, who's then just played it back to their holding defensive player, who's just absolutely skied it as the half-time whistle has gone. Right. How is everybody doing? We're going to look at the sofa scores now, which should... I'm looking at sofa score. So obviously Germany go top of the group with the result currently as it is, and Scotland go down to the bottom. The attack momentum has almost entirely been within Germany's possession. There was a small bit just before the red card incident as well, which was going towards Scotland's momentum. We're going to look at the players. The average age of the German squad, by the way, is 29.1, and the Scottish one is 28.3. Both are quite old. The Germans' average total squad rating for an average is 7.05, which is quite a strong outfit. The goalkeeper and Rudiger, Jonathan Tah, Mittelstadt and Andrik have all sort of got in the 6s. They've not been phenomenal players, to be honest. They've been a bit in the middle. Kimmich has been rated a solid 7. I think he's done a solid job. He's done what he needed to do. Tony Kroos, 7.1, as well as Florian Wirtz. Of course, Florian Wirtz scored that goal. So I think both of them have done an all right job so far. Ilkay Gundogan got a 7.5. He has been right stuck in it up at the top, really applying the pressure onto that Scottish defence. Musiala, Jamal Musiala, this has got a 7.8 on top of his goal that he got. He's obviously been a real thorn in that Scottish defensive side, and he's been outplaying them. I'm surprised Kai Havertz is the highest rated one on the pitch with an 8.0. That, for me, is a bit surprising. He scored a penalty, but he's not done the greatest. I would have thought Musiala would have been, at the moment, the best one. Looking at the Scotland squad, they're all roughly in their 6s. The lowest is 5.2 for Porteous, of course, getting a red card. I said I wanted to look out for him at this game. I wasn't convinced with him starting myself. It's something he came from Hibernian, where he didn't have the greatest career either, and was just a bit of a reckless player. He's even been fined for hitting a woman with a plastic tumbler before. So he's a bit of a hothead, I think, in the if you look at it. And he's been known for a fair few red cards throughout his career as well. In fact, in 2021-22, his season was disrupted by suspensions. He was sent off twice and also banned retrospectively once. It's not a great player, but I'm really liking the moment. He seems a bit fuggish and more reckless, if anything. I don't think that has been a great move. I'm looking at Hendry has got a 6.0. He's not covered himself in glory either in that central defence. Tierney has been abject, 6.2, as has McGinn and Robertson, both with 6.1s. Ralston has got a 6.1. I think he does slightly better than that. I think he's stuck in a bit. Conor McGregor got 6.2. He's definitely been in the thick of it. 6.3, Ryan Christie, as well as Angung Skun. I agree with Christie being probably one of the highest ones. I don't agree with a 6.4 for Shea Adams, but Christie, for me, has been their standout player. But they've just not been good at all at the moment. I mean, Scott McTominay, McGinn, they both need to really, really step up. They are two players who should be much, much better than they are. I mean, arguably, probably some of the best players on the pitch. I'm a bit disappointed that Shankland isn't. I think it's Shankland is on bench for Scotland. Lawrence Shankland and Grant Hanley, both of which are players who definitely, for me, would be players I would play. I'd probably play Grant Shankly instead of Shea Adams. And I wouldn't have put Porteous on. I definitely would have put Hanley in his place. I imagine Hanley's going to come on at some point. I'm not sure quite for who. Maybe McGregor, maybe Hendry. Shore up the fence a bit. You need that bit of experience. Let me know who you think realistically is the for this game. If you've been watching along as well, who have you, for you have been the better players? Who for you have been the slightly ones who've had a bit of a stinker, a bit of a howler? For me, well, you can't look past the fact that Germany have just played the whole squad off the ball, really. Right, on to the highlights. For the Wirtz goal, I think I look at it, it's a beautiful bit of play in the left hand side. And he's whipped it in close over to the far right hand side. They're coming in, darting off the left into the middle. Bang, there you go, straight to the left-hand side of Gunn. Wirtz makes an absolutely amazing run. Ralston's nowhere near him. Robertson's nowhere near the person who's committing the cross. So a bit poor from the defence there. Gone straight to Wirtz. He's got that pace and isn't being marked at all by Ralston. Probably one of the reasons for his low rating during this game. I think you look at it, for me, Ralston has got to be slightly better at keeping in touch with the attacking forwards. If they've got that much pace, you can't let them get a bit of space to go and run into it. Righty is giving his thoughts over that goal. Musiala's goal is more straight through the middle, which we haven't really seen much being done actually in Germany for Germany this game. But almost all of the game passes came straight one after the middle. Adams wasn't really picking up his man, and neither was McGregor. They were both behind the players, which meant there was a nice through ball in the middle, and Musiala was left in space just to walk into the penalty area. What McGregor was doing there, I do not know. Probably, again, another reason for his low SOFA score rating was because he was really poor in that situation. I mean, throughout the game, they've not been the worst, but they have certainly, for me, they needed to track back and actually cover their players. You look at this Porteous red card, and for me, that is outrageous. The fact that you've gone diving in, no, it's just recklessness. You could have got that without even diving in. You could have stood up without stepping on him and just every single time you could have just swung your left leg at it. The penalty was cold as you like. That was a good penalty. No taking away from Havertz's penalty. But should Porteous have gone into that anyhow? Probably not for me. It's a definite sort of reckless behaviour. It's something which you don't want to see. He's a kid, after all. He's still quite young. I think Well, he's clearly he's got that youth streak about him, doesn't he? Just checking. Yeah, 25. So you do expect a bit more maturity. He's coming into the peak of his career and maybe cocking up on a stage this big is what he needed, maybe. But I'm not convinced at the moment for his prospects of getting into a squad anytime soon. This is the very first time that Germany has scored 3 goals in the first half of a Euros game, actually. I'm just reading here. That I don't know whether that proves how bad Scotland are or how good Germany is in this situation. I don't think the Scots are going to be too happy going into this. If you are from Scotland, please do let me know what your viewpoints on this game actually is, because for me, I can't see past this being a complete. You look like you were defeated when you pretty much came onto the pitch, to be honest. You didn't look quite up for it. And a lot of the fans were pretty dejected pretty quickly. You've got the ad breaks on ITV. It's a good thing with the Euros is that they show the games for free. That's why I'm being able to do the watch-alongs, because I don't have a Sky or BT package. It's quite unfortunate in that regard. So I normally have to, if I want to watch a game, it will normally be in a pub. But with the Freeview TV, it's great to be able to watch it, and in the British public should all have the right to access this wonderful, spectacular sport of football. This advert is incredibly weird. It is looking like a zombie apocalypse almost, without the volume on anyhow. Do I think that Scotland have any chance of getting back into this? Well, no, to be brutally honest. Do I expect they can score 1 or 2 goals? Maybe. A bit of counter-attacking. I think Germany will consider it to be done. I think they'll have considered it to be enough for them to go into the next game. They may take off some of their big hitters, bring on some players to sort of rest them for going a bit further into the tournament. If they've certainly got expectations to go into the further into the tournament, so they're probably going to be resting some players. I think I'm just gonna Pascal Gross. He could come on. Muller would be nice to come on. Sane as well. They've got some good strong benches. Although Emre Can, Robin Koch. But I do think some of these other ones, which maybe aren't as good, may come onto the pitch just to say that they were at the Euros, maybe, because it's a big thing for any footballer is being at the Euros. For Scotland, I've already mentioned I would have liked Grant Hantley to come on. Billy Gilmore would be an interesting addition to have on the pitch, although he's not done as great recently as he did when he first burst onto the scene. Scott McKenna, interesting choice. And Lawrence Shankland, who I would have started with. I probably wouldn't have had Henry or Porteous. I probably would have gone something like a 3-4-3 or something like that. A bit more attacking dynamism to have. I think that would have been a bit better. We would have been able to put on Kieran Tierney as the left-sided centre-back as he is now, and Robertson as the left-sided midfield, and still being able to do that and make a back 5 when in defence, going into a midfield 4. That's how I would have set it up. I know I'm not the manager, but I would have had Christie, Shanklands and Adams up front. I would have had I would have had Robertson, McGregor, and Robertson, McGregor, McTominay, and McGinn. I would have had Tierney in the middle. I would have had Ralston still in it. And I would have had Hantley as the centre back. I would have kept Gunn as probably the goalkeeper. That's who I would probably have had. Some of these players I wasn't too sure in Germany. I don't think I would have had Mittelstadt, Andrik, Wirtz, or Gundogan necessarily. I think Pascal Gross has definitely earned it, but Germany's side have proven me that I don't need to tinker too much with that squad. If I was to change that one, I think they've done a pretty good job, solid. They're all coming out for the second half now, which is good to see. Half time can never come quick enough, can it? It's always a bit dreary, a bit boring. What to talk about filling it? That white beer is very, very good. So Andrijk is coming off, and just as I was mentioning, Gross is coming on. Pascal Gross is a very, very, very good player. And I believe Grant Hanley's also just come on. As I was just saying, I would have put Grant Hanley on to begin with, but he has come on now. I'm checking who for. I'm imagining Hendry. I can't see him taking off any of the other defences players other than maybe Ralston, but I don't think Hanley is properly for that position out wide. But we go. There you go. Scotland to kick off this second half. And a hit and out ball. Yeah, that wasn't great. Why would you waste a possession opportunity that quickly into the game? It doesn't look great. It's not got the optics, in my opinion. Obviously, they got 10 ball. Oh, that. So Adams actually came off for Hanley. So they're short off the back, and they basically don't. And they put Christie as the centre forward then. So Robertson has thrown back. Christie has fallen. Well, if there was a trip by Rudiger and he's fallen into Christie there. I imagine Christie is meant to be the centre forward now if Shea Adams has come off for Hanley. That would not have been the move I would have made. I think they're already too defensive, and they've just gone even more so. I mean, what's there to lose at this point? You're already 3-0 down. I mean, goal difference, I suppose, but even so. I think this is McTominay about to whip it in. I don't think McGinn should be that close to... Okay, yeah, there we go. Oh, that would have been an interesting one. The thing is, they're still very defensive. So they didn't have all the players in the box, Scotland there. I'm not sure about this Tar. I've not seen enough of him play. I don't think he's, for me, the standout player. Long lob. That is a very long lob. It was a poor lob as well. And that arguably should be a foul. There was a bit of a two players going at the same one there. McTominay's gone down. And I think it was Gundogan who slided into it. Whoa. Oh. They are actually doing a bit of attacking intent for once, Scotland. It is leaving them very vulnerable at the back. Is that a foul? I'm wondering. That could very well be a foul. Yes, it was a foul and a yellow cardable offence. Ralston, that is, with a yellow card. Who's just took one for the team almost there. No, it was McGinn tried to grab Musiala. Then it's gone to Wirtz, and Wirtz just got clattered into the back of by Ralston, Anthony Ralston, who is again a player I'm not too familiar with. He is also 25, and he is currently a player for Celtic. That doesn't surprise me. I don't watch much Scottish football at all, really. but I know that Celtic did win the league, so congratulations on that. Rightfully so, they've probably got some more Scottish players in the teams than the Euros team this year than Rangers do. I think there's a Hearts player in here and a Motherwell one, but I can't remember what their names are in the total squad. But I imagine most of Germany's team plays in Germany, apart from a few notable exceptions, due to the strong nature of Germany's league, to be honest. Whipped in by Germany out to the right. Couldn't quite whip across in there, so that's gone back to Rudiger. Kroos in the midfield. Out. It's gone over to, I think, went over to Kimmich, but couldn't quite make that count. They can't quite get out. Christie struggling a bit to be able to deal with this solid white wall of defence surrounding him. He's got about 6 players surrounding him at all times whenever he's trying to get on the ball. So the target man approach isn't quite working for Scotland, which isn't really a surprise for me. Out to the left, back central. Yeah, Germany are just cruising along. Oh, mishap there by Germany, and I think that is a tackle from behind, but the ref doesn't think so, so we play on. Germany have possession. I think we have got Kroos doing a bit of a 1-2 there with several players. Was it Kroos? No, I think it was Kimmich. Sorry. He was under that. It's gone out to the left. There's just a line of German players constantly passing to each other. Pass and move. Oh, and an optimistic shot from quite far out. And Gunn did manage to get down to his left to save that. That's the second time Rudiger's done that. He's gone lined up the shot. And I don't think it was... He was going towards goal. Gunn got a hand to that. That would have been a decent goal if it went in. It was bending, but I think it could have just snuck in. But he did what he needed to do there, Gunn. I think it was an optimistic shot, to be fair. But clearly Rudiger had that in his head that he was going to catch the headlines. Poor corner by Germany there. Very poor corner. He's gone all the way to the other side with Kimmich. But a fast pace is just too much. But the low block, very defensive block from Scotland have done very well there. And that is a foul against Andy Robertson by Kroos. Yeah, he's gone straight, blocked him off the ball there. He's know what he's done, Kroos, there. It's a bit of a cheeky tackle. But it's nothing serious in it. It's that experience coming through there. Certainly, probably his last Euros, maybe his last international tournament, full stop. So, I think Kroos is a very, very notable name for German fans across the last 10 years, certainly. I still remember him in 2014, crikey. Makes me feel old now. I think Germany have not quite got out their traps yet for this second half. Not been as good as they were in the first half, as I sort of predicted. They sort of will be comfortable with a 3-0 scoreline, maybe just more content to keep possession and not have that same urgency to go forward. Scotland with that down to 10 men, that's going to be difficult, whatever they have. It's a poor header on, to be fair. It's gone way too far by Scotland there. Obviously, if you're new around here, please subscribe. This is a very new idea that I've got to do. I normally do sort of more documentary style things or predictions or stuff like that. And this is just sort of something I decided to dapple with. Might not do it again. We'll see what people think. But I'm quite enjoying doing it actually. It's quite fun. I might get someone else on with me, so I'm not talking the whole time. For the next time I do this, it's always a bit of fun, isn't it? Watching a bit of football with a bit of beer. That is a slip, but it still managed to find his target. But the deflection back. If Scotland move quick here, which they're not doing, they could have made something of that, which they just didn't. So they're now passing around the back. We should now back 3. So I think it's dynamic back 5, to be honest. It feels very much like they're aiming to try and keep that defensive resolution, that resolute. But I don't think they got the players to do so. I think they just need to utilise a bit of that pace they have on the wings, because Germany have managed to get past them on the wings so far. They've won that wing battle better, and have really nullified Robertson and Tierney. In fact, they've nullified all the star players, to be honest. I think that's why, for me, the star player has actually probably been Angus Gunn. But does SofaScore still agree with that? So they had a bit more momentum. They had a momentum to start, but it's now back in Germany's favour, that momentum. Definitely can tell why that is. McTominay apparently has been the best player so far. I can see it, but I can also not see it. Ralston's just nosediving, as is McGinn. McGinn's not had a great game here. He's been sort of marked out of it. But yeah, Gunn is definitely up there with one of the best players, and that's always concerning when your goalkeeper is the best player. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you're playing bad, but when you're 3-0 down and your goalkeeper is the second best player, it's not looking great. So there's a corner here for Germany. Good block. Cleared. Half clearance, that is. Because there's no one outlet there because they're down to 10 men. So they're going to just invite pressure back again. Germany can't quite. There's a lot of players free. They're just not that intense. Shoot. Was a bit delayed there by, I think that was Kroos. And a bit of a delay of a shot. I think I would have taken that first time. Right, out to Havertz, who's gone out to the wing for some reason. You're meant to be the number 10. He seems quite all over the place. Okay. Interesting manoeuvre. Gone into the penalty area. I think this is Musiala. Couldn't quite get past his defender. Oh, and skied over by Wirtz there. That was a good effort. Musiala couldn't get past his first man, but it was then whipped in, and Wirtz got it, but he just couldn't quite get it first time. Just a little or too much lift on the shot there, and it goes over the crossbar. So yeah, goalkeeper is Angus Gunn. Will take this goal kick. He's sent all his players quite far down, so I imagine he's going to absolutely span this downfield. I think hidden hope is what Scotland's main aim is now. He's gone far and out to the right, his right, that is. Very difficult, under pressure almost immediately, and Germany come away with it. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be it's a very much mountain to climb because Germany are resolute in defence. And they also have a bit of speed about them as well. Even though they've got an average age of flipping 29, so it's quite odd. They've got an old squad, but they do have that pace. You just make me think. Saved by Gunn, good block by McGregor, cleared out of the box by I think Tierney there. Whipped low cross there, but couldn't get past the first man. Scotland can break here if they do well. There's no outlet player, and it's Germany get it again. It's sort of with Wirtz in the centre of a park. Yeah, it always seems to be that way with Germany before they dish it out to the wings. As they do so again, out to Kimmich. It's Kimmich to Gundogan. Gundogan to Rudiger. Rudiger to Musali and back to Rudiger. Out to Kimmich. Kimmich is trying to get past this defender but can't. Rudiger with it now. Is he going to try an audacious shot? No, he's opts for a pass. Gone to Kimmich again. This is the third time. He's whipped the cross in. This time it's gone right across the penalty area. Onto the other side. A shot which was poorly done and good blocking by Ralston there. A shot which was very high and over again by Wirtz. Needs to just calm down and focus a bit. Musiala it was who was trying to do that cross, and it was saved by Gunn initially. And Gundogan also did a shot which was blocked by Tierney. They were the two sort of notable things in that sort of brief affair. So, a free kick. Hopefully, Gunn can make better use of this time. It all seemed to be going over to the right. There's one player on the left who I would be the one who passes to, but as they never do anymore, they all seem to crowd different areas, don't they? Yeah, it just went straight there to Michael stopped. So I'm progressing into midfield with Rudiger, who's lumped it forward there. Gunn needs to get that, and he does. Well, that was close for Havertz there. Applied a lot of pressure onto the Scottish keeper. A change for Germany, by the looks of it. Number 9 is looking like he's warming up and coming on. Niklas Füllkrug, presumably for Havertz. Presumably resting his star-studded player for this match for the next one. Gone. Oh, that's a foul against Christie and a yellow cardable one. That by Tar. I think it was a stamp on the foot by the looks of it. Conceiving McGregor was rolling around holding his... Christie, sorry, was rolling around, went straight down holding his foot. It was a cynical stamp. And rightfully so, Jonathan Tar got a yellow card for it. A double substitution for the German outfit. Kai Havertz is coming off, presumably for Füllkrug, sorry. And number 19 is also coming on, which is Leroy Sané. For Wirtz, as I would probably have predicted. Wirtz has had a good innings, to be fair. He's gone a bit off the boil for the last 10 minutes, but he's been very good. So 2 of the scorers have come off. Changes the dynamic a little bit. I don't know Füllkrug too well, but I know that Sané is quite a similar mould of player, Musiala in many regards. Easily dispossessed there, Scotland. That was poor possession giveaway by Andy Robertson. Not being impressed today, I must admit. and that is straight into the hands of Gunn with a good early move by Leroy Sane, getting a goal on target. It just seemed a bit scuffed. Didn't quite get the connection, I don't think, to get a proper powerful shot. Right, slow build up this time, Gun opts for, and then booted down, and yeah, there is nothing in that. McGinn goes down looking for a foul, and I think he's been given it. I think McGinn has been given it, although it did come at nowhere near him. He has been pulled back there by the number 5, which is Pascal Gross. Not a great first move for Gross there. Lovely bit of passing and moving here by Germany. Scotland can't really get anything near it. We just hit an hour and a half on this stream. Probably be about 2 hours in total. Good, solid movement here. There's no marking by Scotland at all here. I've hardly seen any marking, and this for me marks out what the biggest issue that needs to be corrected in the next game. Tierney, I think, just headed it behind for a corner. Tierney's mixed reviews so far for me. He's not been the worst, but he's not been the best. I've been looking for a bit more from some of these players who are at the topper echelons of their careers and playing ability. Rudiger's gone straight down from McGinn and is claiming for something. But there's a bit of a conflict between Rudiger and McGinn here. Bit of pushing and shoving, told to stop it, and we are back underway for the corner. And it's whipped in by Kroos and headed out. I couldn't see who that was. The follow-up shot's gone skied up and out for a goal kick, I'm assuming, by that Mittelstadt guy. So, it's looking interesting. There's a goal kick here. Goal kick. And Billy Gilmore looks like he's about to come on. I'm not sure entirely for who. Could be McGinn, who's not been the greatest today. A long pump forward, and there's gone straight out for a throw-in. We're on the 66th minute mark. So, interesting. Got just about half an hour to go, I imagine, in this game. So number 14 is coming on, which is for Scotland, Billy Gilmore. Coming, and so Conor McGregor and McGinn are coming off. McGinn would be coming off, so McGregor's also coming off. And to replace them is McLean and Gilmore. So, like-for-like swaps there, pretty much. Billy Gilmore, full of energy, still got plenty of time left for his playing career. Certainly somebody who Scotland had a lot of hopes on becoming their next gem. Hasn't quite worked out yet. He's shown moments throughout his career, currently at Brighton and Hove Albion. But it will be interesting to see if he can improve. Obviously only 23 years old as well, so still does have that time to improve within him, and he is obviously Premier League standard. The pace on the wing by Germany is something else. In the box and top corner, there you go, Bosch. Fulkrug, not long after coming on, must have only been about 5 minutes, has gone and picked out the top corner. No chance for Gunn getting there at all. Very quick down the wing, lightning pace. and he's picked out that top corner. He has been a player who I hardly even noticed because he only came on the 63rd minute and he scored in the 68th. That is a pretty rapid turnaround. As I said, about 5 minutes. He's gone straight. He's had a cheeky back pass there and a straight pace. The pace on that ball was something else. The speed and pace into that top corner. That is a quality striker who I think actually he could be the future for Germany. I've not come across him too much. He is at Borussia Dortmund at the moment. But he's certainly someone who I think he's 31, so he has been around. He does his name does ring a bell a bit, but he's only been in the German squad since 2022. Effectively, this is his 17th appearance for them. But he's been mainly in Germany throughout his career, and interesting that he's reaching his peak almost now, if you will. It's gone out for a goal. I think it's a goal. I think it was a goal kick, but I can't quite tell from for Germany there. But it's 4-0 now. It's quite embarrassing for Scotland, really. Not how they wanted to open the Euros. You got to remember, it's the first game. Germany could still flop it. Unlikely to, I'm going to be honest. Or Scotland could still sneak in as well. I think, although to be fair, I do think I predicted this was the game that Germany were going to win. Albeit it was only by 2-1, as opposed to this 4-0 drumming that seems to be happening. There's just no defence at all. the Scottish lads are just... They're getting played off at park. It's really quite embarrassing to watch. Like the number 5, for example, Grant Hanley, has just taken the ball during the scry, which, by the way, went 110 kilometers per hour. 110 kilometers per hour. That goal was that. That was some speed. To be able to get that speed on the football is quite something. But it was a poor deflection by Grant Henry there. And Henry did not cover himself in glory either during it. He should definitely be picking it up. The German international. Can Scotland get anything out of this game? I'm saying no at this point. I was holding out a little bit of hope, but at the moment, I just can't see it. They've just not come out of their box at all. Although they're playing dangerously in their edge of their own box, Germany here. But they've managed to come away with it. Straight into... This is an incredibly poor defence. Okay, cut out there by Scotland. It's hard to pick out the positives. If I'm a manager of Scotland, it's going to be hard to pick out the positives. Number 30 for Germany looks like it's about to come on, which is Thomas Muller, for old time's sake, I imagine. And Gundogan will probably make way for him. It'd be an interesting switch to make, and I think if Germany do win it, Thomas Muller will call an end to his international career, although he just seems to constantly age and for some reason never gets out of the German squad. He started in like 2010, I think. He was a long-time player. Andy Robertson blocking there any attempt from across from a number 19 for Germany. Rudiger, though, was the first man there. And they've managed to play Scotland's out of the park, really, today. We're going over number... I think that's Kroos has tried to cross. Didn't quite work. Someone's gone down injured from an alteration with Hanley. I believe that was Gundogan, which isn't actually his last action of the game. The person who's coming off instead is Musiala for Thomas Muller. who's adopted that number 10, Musiala. Originally Thomas Muller's, of course. Although, for me, I never ascribe a number 10 for being a winger. So, they're not quite the same position. It's not quite a like for like. I wonder if they're going to go a bit more centrally now. Especially, seeing they brought on the other one was Fulkrug. They both seem to be fairly central players, so they may go a bit more narrow now and switch up how they're playing. Doesn't seem so now, but it could be. A cross in, nobody there to get it. Kroos has picked up the leftovers, but I think it's offside. Interesting manoeuvres. I imagine the German manager is pretty happy with that performance. A solid first match. Starts you mean to go on. Nagelsmann will definitely be proud of his boys after today's performance. There's brought smiles all around the German fan base, and the Scots look absolutely dejected. Rightfully so. It's quite ironic that the British media was basically telling us all about how you need to be careful about how much to drink when you're out in Germany because the beer there is stronger. It just seems that teams in white just do well, don't they? Slightly biased as a Derby County fan, and obviously England playing white as well. Yeah, we're about to come to the 75th minute, which means we've got about 15 minutes of this game left to play. Good start to the Euros. Couldn't ask for a much more dominant display, to be fair. Not sure what the opening ceremony was. That seemed a bit naff, if you ask me. Oh, straight in. Oh, that was a horrible goal. You don't want to see that. Well, I wouldn't even celebrate. Fulkrug there. Got a bit lucky. Horrible flapping by Angus Gunn. That was just dropped for him on a plate. It's just air when air dropped like and just straight into the feet of him. Crossed, pitch perfect cross. Could have been offside there. I reckon that's offside. But it's good chest down and a dip over. Angus Gunn couldn't get enough to poke it over or to hold it. So Fulkrug just needed to tap it a bit more in. But that will, I think, be offside. Actually. Yep, that has been ruled out for offside. He is offside. There's no doubt about that. That's half of his body is offside. So German fans will be a bit disappointed about that. However, they are 4-0 up, and I think 5-0 would have been slightly disgraceful. Number 26 for Scotland is coming on. That is Scott McKenna, and he's coming on for Aaron Tierney. I was thinking this was probably on the moves for quite a bit. McKenna are a bit more upper body strength. Less skill with his feet, but he's definitely got that upper body strength, which might be what's needed. We'll see. They've got Billy Gilmore for the skill bit. You can't be too flouncy when you're up against a team like Germany because you will just get your pocket pickpocketed. Slumped down by Angus Gunn. Will it get to a Scott player? And it's gone out for a throw-in before it could. Yeah, I'm not impressed by Gunn's distribution, to be honest. I've never really been, but especially this game, it's been quite frankly atrocious. They'd be better playing out from the back, but then again, they'll be put under pressure from immediately, so I'm not entirely sure what they can do. Yep, Germany 4, Scotland 0. If you're just joining us for this live stream, it could have been 5, but it was an offside. The defence has been a bit of a shambles for Scotland today. They've been trying to be too defensive, in my opinion. Not enough umph going forward, not enough possession, people going forward, and not enough possession going forward. They've tried to use the wings, but have been way too wide. They've not managed to cut inside at all. None of the big hitters have really impressed me today, actually. I think that's a fair assessment to make. Scott McTominay at 6.7. Nanga's going at 6.6. Pascal Ross. Nicholas Fulkrug has had an excellent start. Leroy Sané has been a bit absent. But been a very, very poor performance. I'm looking at that back line and not one of them is higher than a 6.1. When your average score for the is 6.21, you know you've not been in a great game. Germany's been 7.21, which is nice. Andrik has been their worst player, if you were wondering. Out on the corner of the box and span it over. I think that is again a bit of frustration hitting in. Oh, I think that was a replay. Or anyway, the offside was very clearly offside. But we're just getting a replay from that perspective here. We've got just about 10 minutes left. I think we'll look at the final SofaScore ratings in a bit. Tony Kroos scored it a day. He's coming off for Emre Can. Like for like, in a way. Both are quite strong. Both quite technically gifted. Both got quite good mindset when it comes to it. Quite a fan of Emre Can. Been interesting to see what he adds to the game. Let's see if Gunn can actually do a good goal kick for once. No, he cannot. He passes just teams and players in white. It's a quite woeful distribution, to be honest. Cross over, and I think it was Gundogan trying to come in there to get it. It was a good effort by Muller there, who is using every bit of that football intelligence and experience he's accumulated for so many years. It's just unfortunate Gundogan couldn't get on the end of it. But it was a good attempt. Number 11 is Ryan Christie is coming off for number 9. Lawrence Shankland for Scotland. Seems a bit hit and hope. Well, I think neither Christie or Adams, when he was on the pitch, had much of an impact. Shankland might be able to. It'd be nice to see it. A goal back will always boost morale, and we'll get Scotland players and fans both talking about how they can actually do a decent job if they just tried. Gone for another goal kick. This time he's gone slightly left of centre. Couldn't get past the white shirts again, but it has gone and dropped to Andy Robertson, who has passed it round. There's a bit of number 23 has passed it out wide. Oh, and it's in the box. Rudiger's heading away. Finally, a bit of excitement for the Scottish fans, but it's not quite good enough. And the number 19 is coming back. He's gone. He's run into the Scottish penalty area. He's surrounded by 3 players, and just couldn't quite get it. But Leroy Sané had a nice move there. Just didn't have any options, really. Rudiger passing it to Neuer. Neuer sort of not being really much needed in this game at all. Hardly spoken about him. But I'm sure if he was needed, he'd be a safe pair of hands to have. They're all looking a bit tired there, Rudiger. But I'm sure Germany will want him to be fit and raring to go. They've made all their subs, as has Scotland. So, yeah, straight at the goalkeeper there. Angus Gunman is, and I think that was Leroy Sané's effort. A bit of curl, but it was a bit too straight down the middle. I mean, if you're gonna shoot, you're gonna have to make him work a bit harder for that. It's going to be interesting to see if he can actually pick out a blue player here. He's hit it hard, hit it long. 94% pass accuracy by Germany and 77% for Scotland. Only 174 passes for Scotland and 564 to Germany. Germany have dominated this game in possession terms. We really have. Andy Robertson passing it back into the defence. And they're passing it along the centre backs out to the wing backs, and we'll see from where they're moving on here. And no, they dispossessed. They can't play out from the back. It's quite hard to see, to be honest. Seeing a team like Scotland pass out from the back, it was like when Derby tried to pass out from the back, and it just never worked. It's quite a frustrating thing to see. When it works well and looks beautiful. When it doesn't work well, and the manager is absolutely fuming. He's just looked like he's had enough. Going off there to shout in his Scottish accent to the players to go and do something better than that, I imagine. It looked like Sané's in the edge here. He's just run into the penalty area. Is that a penalty? There was a definite foul there. I'm pretty certain it was. Is that going to go to VAR? Did he get the ball? Oh, that was a leg out from the back. I don't know if it was necessarily a foul. It would be difficult. You need to check for a penalty, potentially. I don't think VAR is checking, and I think Gunn is taking a goal kick. Clearly not enough in there. Leroy Sané's not got into this game yet. He hasn't quite managed to make it work about magic in the penalty area. Here he comes again, and he's gone over this time. He's a frustrated man. He's had good efforts. He's doing the right things. He's not clicking for him, and he's just falling when he's taking that shot. It's a bit hit and hope, and a bit just. I wouldn't know what to do in that situation, but shooting was probably an option which was worth it, but probably wouldn't have paid off. 5 minutes left of normal time. Angus Gunn is running up to take for the cajillionth time a goal kick, which will probably end up with a white shirt in it. Oh no, he's actually got a blue one, and is that a foul? I don't know. We have a number 23, which is Kenny McLean. But it did seem a bit weak-efforted. Well, Scotland started up a chant by some of the fans. A lot of them are looking a bit dejected, I would say. It's not been the start to the Euros that I think they wanted. It was always going to be a difficult game, though. Oh, they've got one back! Scotland have got one back. Rudiger is very frustrated about that, but Scotland have got one back. I knew that there was a potential chance, and that is very much against the run of play. Very much against the run of play indeed, but it's given something for the Scottish fans to cheer about there. So it was a free kick, whipped in. I think that's onside. Gone straight through all the players and straight to the edge, where I think that is the number 23, but it's gone off an own goal, actually. Kenny McLean had a header for it. So headed by the number 5 for Germany, gone past everyone, headed down, and then Rudiger, I think, is frustrated because he was the one who committed the own goal in that situation. Quite a horrendous own goal, to be fair. He's headed out straight into his own net. Maybe it was sympathy, but that is a poor own goal to have. There's a goal check. I'm not entirely sure what for, but I think everybody in Scotland, and I think most people in Europe at the moment, will be just hoping that it has gone in, just purely for positivity. vibes. Check is over and the goal has stood. So 4-1 at the Allianz Arena in Munich. So that's probably given Scotland a bit of confidence. It is something that I said will be on the cards. I did think that Scotland will score one. I didn't quite think they'd be conceding as many. I think in terms of if you actually thought about it, the defence shouldn't be conceding that many. Rudiger's own goal there will definitely get his SofaScore rankings quite a bit down. I mean, it's going to be frustration, I think, more than anything. It wasn't even, they didn't even have the attacking momentum during that bit. It was just a set piece. And as Paul will often say, set pieces can change games. Now, it's not going to change this game. There's like a 1 minute and then whatever stoppage time is left. But it would definitely, in the next game, provide a bit of positivity. Yeah, passing around, they still can't get it out from that possession thing. I think it was a bit of a fluke goal, to be honest, the Scottish one. So how many of you said 4-1 at the start of the this match, eh? I know a friend who said 3-1. I know someone who said 3-0 to Scotland, a bit deluded. And I obviously said 2-1. It was just very poor. It was number 26, actually, who managed to force the own goal, as much as there was a force involved with it. Scott McKenna, that is. But Scots fans have finally got something to celebrate, and it's lovely to see. You don't want to see them going home a bit disappointed. Well, 3 minutes of added time. 3 minutes. Not long. A bit too much power on that header backwards there by McKenna, but he's definitely made a difference since coming onto the pitch. Arguably being the ball changer, the game changer rather, for this game. Germany looking a good outfit, looking solid. I think they'll probably do quite well. If you saw my predictions earlier, you would have seen that I put Germany as third. I'm still going to stick with that. I don't like shifting positions, and I did think that they would win this game, but it's just all a bit too much for Scotland. I think the occasion and all of that, and the opposition has just been all over them. Has anyone actually commented anything? Nope. It'd be lovely if the guys who watch this stream would have some audience interaction. That'd be lovely to have. Not long left at all, really. 1.5 minutes. There could be a final goal here. It was headed by the number 5, Grant Hanley. But I don't think much is coming to this. They're just playing a bit around the edge of the box, to be honest, and not quite progressing enough. They've gone over to the halfway line pretty much at this point and into their own half. I think they're content. I think both teams will be content. I think Scotland will not be content with the performance they put in. That's certainly nothing home to write home about, even though they did get a goal. It was an own goal and it was a pretty fluky one. That was poor Rudiger's end, to be honest. And I don't think Scotland's going to be good value for money this tournament. I'm not going to lie. Not something I'm overly impressed with. There is a chance for a final thing for Scotland, or final one for Germany rather, as everyone's in possession at the moment in the penalty area on the edge of the box. They've shot and scored, and that is surely silence it. It seemed it was going to be coming. It was Emre Can on the edge of the box, fired it low into the bottom corner. Angus Gunn didn't have a chance. All the Scots players look absolutely dejected at that. We have a ginger German. Are we sure he's not a Scot who has changed sides? All of the Scottish players are looking absolutely dejected, and all the German players are absolutely amazed. Uh, it was not great. It was a bit too easy altogether. It's just a little bit of tiki taka. Should have been picked up, both Emre Can and the sister. Um, I mean, Gunn couldn't have done much better. They got the speed that Chan had, that pace that was something else. So they're trying to block Scotland, and I must say this 26 did very, very little. I was just bigging up Scott McKenna, but maybe it's the commentator's curse. And yeah, that's the end of the match. I hope you very much enjoyed watching it. It ended 5-1. And if we look at the sofa scores or ratings, Manuel Neuer had a 6.3, presumably because of the own goal he's let in, and that was the only action he was really called upon. He's the lowest for Germany of the starting 11. Robert Andrich got a 6.5. He was not that great today. He got substituted off. 6.9 for Jonathan Tah. Looked a bit caught in the headlights, if you ask me. He was comfortable in possession, but it didn't do much else other than that. The rest of the team, though, have been great. 7.0 for Antonio Rudiger. I think the own goal was sort of what dented it for him. I don't think it was entirely his fault, but at the same time, it wasn't the greatest own goals, and it was not coming from any pressure. And then a load of 7.5s. We've got Michael Start, Gundogan, and Wirtz at 7.5. You got 7.6 for Kimmich. Tony Kroos on a 7.9, as well as Jamal Musiala. Both done very well. Kai Havertz on a legendary 8. He, with a goal, one of the many goals, the penalty, very cold penalty, and was a bit of instrumental in sort of getting that team clicking. In terms of from their bench, Gross is a 70. Well, a 7. It's been just a solid all-round player when he came on. Leo Osani on a 6.4, didn't do much, and the stuff he did do was a bit scuff, a bit hit and miss. Nicholas Fulkrog at 7.3, very good goal indeed. Someone who is definitely worthy off the bench, if not on a start. Thomas Muller 6.9, didn't do much most of the game. And Emre Can 7.4, because that end one was an absolute great goal. In terms of Scotland, Angus Gunn on a 6.6. Well, he's a joint best player from the starting 11 with Scott McTominay. Not been a great performance altogether. A 5.1 by Porteous, of course, getting that red card. Ralston getting a 5.9, as well as Hendry getting a 5.9. Both of them have been woeful today. Tierney on a 6.1, as well as Robertson on a 6.1. Again, the defence has just not been where it was meant to be. McGinn at a 6.0. He had to get taken off. 6.3 for Callum McGregor and Ryan Christie. Neither of which were in the game. McGregor had a bit of a howler leading to one of the goals, but was also a bit of a needle, so it wasn't too bad. And Shea Adams on a 6.4. Again, it wasn't really into the game. On for the Scotland bench, we've got... Let me just get the Scotland's bench up. This is so annoying to navigate. I think it's because the game is now finished. SofaScore has decided that it will do a bit of messing around. It's because everything's changed on my screen. Anyhow, Bench doesn't matter overly that much in terms of all in all. I can tell you that when McKenna came on, he did a very, very good job. I think he would have had a decent rating. In my opinion, he should have done anyway. That's why, because it's somehow changed to Scotland versus Switzerland for the next game. But I don't want Scotland versus Switzerland. I want Scotland v Germany. For some reason, it decided to go on to the next game. So yeah, interestingly, the best Scottish player was the one on the bench. Because I think Scott McKenna was a 6.4 or 6.8, which is certainly better than most of the Scottish squad. So final sort of thing is you just got to think that Scotland should not been good enough, and they're just quite frankly a disgraceful performance. Germany, high flying, very good. You look at the final three goals. The going goal was a fluke. The other two, very skillful by the subs. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new around here. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, and do let me know if you want me to do more of this. But I'll see you in the next the next video. Goodbye for now.